And we're back again, guys. Let's see what's going on with the C8 Corvette ZR1. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for pressing play. We're back here at Blackout Tinting in Miami, or South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood area, right beside the big guitar. You can't miss it. But we are here to check in on Brooks's from Drag Time's C8 ZR1 because we are putting down some stealth PPF on this blade silver car to make it look like the Quail Edition ZR1X. It's gonna look really awesome. I've gotten a bunch of feedback from you guys who all kind of want to do something similar to your car, it sounds like. Let's check this thing out because it's gonna look pretty good. And we're gonna get some 50-50 shots so you guys can very clearly see what the stealth film is doing to the blade silver paint. That's a big question I get a lot, is how does XPEL Stealth really look with the stock paint and everything? You're gonna see more than you want to today. Let's go ahead and check it out. All right, so we are working on these right now. So these extra air intakes on the ZR1, this actually has PPF on it, and this has a pattern. So the pattern is in the XPEL software. Now, what's interesting is this wing is not in the XPEL software yet, but this wing is now finished with PPF, and I'll show you the fact that it's finished. You can actually see it's not totally done. Underneath here, Felipe's still working on tucking all the PPF underneath, but this is what it looks like on the top. I mean, literally invisible installs is what we're looking to do here. So this is now protected with XPEL paint protection film, of course, and it is invisible. It's invisibly protected. And yeah, look at that carbon shine. It's really nice. We got everything to lay flat, even through these really deep crevices that the spines basically push into the wing. But guys, it looks really awesome. This is just the start. Of course, we got the wing done and these little parts here, but I'm gonna have Felipe show you in a second because he actually removed these so we can get a cleaner XPEL install underneath. They actually install with just screws. I'm gonna have him show us here in a second, removing one of those, just again to make sure that the installation is as flat and seamless as possible. So that's the difference here, guys. And once we get through some of the carbon parts, we're gonna start laying down some actual stealth on this silver. It's gonna look freaking awesome, so get ready for it. And then of course we got the power plant. Thing pumping out 1,064 horsepower. Yeah, she looking good. That needs to be red though. But it comes standard with the carbon fiber engine dress up parts here. We can see kind of down in there, see the twin turb skis. They're down there somewhere. So got to pop the hatch, and then underneath here you can see we got some, looks like T25 screws, maybe. Looks like 4 of them. And then that carbon fiber piece will pop out so we can then get a better install of the matte XPEL Stealth here. That's it. That's all she wrote. It's got a little seal on there, screw holes built in,
and these little tabs.
Little clips, yeah, tabs that pop it into place. You can see where those go right in these notch sections.
That's good
here.
though.
Yeah.
These are good.
Yep. Rubber seal on the outside to make sure it doesn't scratch up the paint. But ultimately, this is what you're getting here. This is the scoop that pushes air down into brake ducts, cooling ducts, all kinds of ducts on this car. So, like I said, this is going to allow us to lay that XPEL film a lot nicer without lines around it. And since that piece has a foam gasket around the outside, it won't push up the XPEL given how tight that piece installs. This part of the roof is done obviously in gloss because it's carbon fiber. You can actually still see the edge of the gloss carbon, or the gloss XPEL kind of wrapping this carbon. This has not been done yet, and you can clearly see that because of the reflections, but the rear hatch has been. So check that out. That actually looks really good, dude. I'm impressed, even more so than that piece we put on the fender a couple days ago. But yeah, guys, this looks like a frosted, like ice look almost. It's really coming along. I mean, yeah, if we get that almost 50-50 shot right here, look at the light, the way it just kind of like spreads out that light. It looks really good. I'm actually more impressed with this than I thought I'd be. Yeah. That's the one big thing that Stealth does for any car, but the C8 specifically. It really accents these body lines. And I mean, you don't, honestly, you really almost don't even see these whenever it's gloss, but there is a body line that goes all the way up to that little vent there. That's really awesome. So this is stealth too. Yeah, you did these stealth too. So the split window stealth.
Little pieces on the sides are stealth. Like, yeah, the kit does a good coverage.
Painstakingly stealth, guys. So obviously the carbon is going to stay gloss, but yeah, check that out. Look at that. Oh, that's a good shot right there. The way that light is just, and then the top of the bumper here is not done yet. Hey, hi. But yeah, that's really cool. Again, fender's not done. It almost changes the color a little bit too. It makes it a little lighter, maybe? Yeah, it looks lighter. It's definitely not, but look at that. That's awesome. So we're gonna have Felipe eventually do the door here so you guys can really see a 50-50 shot of the fender not done, door done, rear fender not done. So what do you got done so far, Felipe?
So full hatch is 100% done, including all the carbon areas. The wing is 100% done. We're gonna finish off this piece right now so we can do the roof, 8 pillars, and then we're gonna jump on that rear, this piece, and then go.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, guys, he said the center of the roof is done. This side's not, but the driver's side is with the stealth, so we'll check that out. So here is done and not done. All right, so we'll wait for Felipe to get onto the door and then we'll show you some 50-50 shots, but so far I'm really liking the look. If you guys are looking to do this on your blade silver, anything, it doesn't have to be a ZR1, it's going to look really good. I think silver always looks good with XPEL Stealth. I know one of my subscribers did stealth on his Ram TRX that was silver and it also looked really good. So yeah, let's watch him put down this piece of film. I don't ever want to say easy because he may make it look easy, but this ain't easy. So one thing about XPEL Stealth that you'll see as you watch Felipe do this is stealth has to be 100% aligned properly, because if you do it even a little bit off, you're going to see a glossy edge, whereas with the Ultimate or the glossy XPEL, you can be a little bit off and you won't really notice it because it's still gloss regardless. So this one goes on with a lot more, I don't want to say a lot more attention to detail, but you do have to be a little bit more specific.
We're hiding gloss.
Yeah, you're hiding gloss versus accenting it with the other stuff.
You almost want to make it look like paint, which is almost difficult, but
yep. Look at that. Magic. And now one thing to remember, guys, if you haven't seen it yet, my 2020 C8 Stingray I had was stealth wrapped as well, and it was a torch red color. A lot of people at car shows ask me where I got the paint job, all this other stuff, because if it's done right, it does look like a paint job. And Felipe is going to do it right. So when this is all said and done, it's going to look exactly like that Quail Edition does with a matte clear coat applied. So this is not obviously going to be a clear coat. It's going to be, you know, a wrap after the fact, but it's going to look just like that because when it's done right, it looks great. And I really only mention that because we do still have the Ferrari sitting here. So this is the 296 that's going to be getting a good bit of work. Alfredo is over there right now actually working on the window tint to get this thing tinted, but afterwards it is getting a full gloss or XPEL Ultimate paint protection film install as well. So this one will remain gloss and will remain looking just like this, but if you wanted to stealth wrap your red car, you could. You can actually check out some of my videos where I did that with the C8 Stingray, and it was met with some pretty encouraging words at car shows about how it looked like paint and things like that. But this is a super clean looking car as well, and actually had a couple people in the shop today tell me about how these are better than SF90s. So yeah, if you know anything about these cars, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Is this a baby SF90 or is it better than an SF90? I don't know. I know this is more of a Corvette kind of thing, but at the same time, we can all appreciate awesome cars, right? And a little more of a shot of that Quail Edition going down. Again, just look at that kind of muted gloss, and then down here, really glossy with those lights. It just spreads the light reflection out. Man, I'm liking that. It's like an icy look. I really like it. So we've all seen the ZR1 wing at this point. We all agree it's pretty big. It's a very large wing. What's really surprising to me is this wing weighs over 14 pounds. 14 pounds. Carbon fiber is typically really light. It is a heavy spoiler. I mean, this thing, you could tell that's 14 pounds. It's roughly the same weight as the targa top on the car, which is wild. So in this case, the carbon fiber is not so light. They must have really reinforced this thing to make sure that it could do every bit of the 1,250 pounds of downforce that it claims it can, because this thing, it's stout. You gotta love that reflection there too. Blackout tinting, you can see that very clearly in that shiny glossy carbon. And since we have the spoiler off, guys, check out the basically the spoiler mounts here, or the wing mounts. They're significantly larger than the Z07 mounts, but the one thing I noticed is typically on the Z07 mounts, the thread on the inside here, on the inside side of it, it actually doesn't start until about halfway through. Whereas this one is threaded literally all the way through, and it is significantly larger and uses a larger bolt. These use an M8 bolt, where the Z07 uses an M6. So again, all of that downforce that thing is creating has to go somewhere, and I would imagine they were probably breaking bolts with using the stock Z07 size bolts, because these are beefed up. You know, when you're making 1,250 pounds of downforce, it's got to go somewhere, and most of it's transferred right to that little guy right there. All right, so the door is done, guys, and you can kind of see here the difference in the sheen or lack thereof. I mean, there's a sheen on, I guess, the satin part or the stealth part here, and more of a shine on the gloss part. So this is shiny, this is satin, and then that's shiny. Hopefully that comes through on camera really well. If that light right there is an easy way to see. You can see that really nicely on the fender, and then when we get that same light in on the door, it kind of spreads it. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way that this is turning out. I think it has a really cool frosted look to it. So again, if you guys are interested in doing something like this on your Blade Silver car, like I said, it doesn't have to be a ZR1 either. It could just be a Z06, Stingray, E-Ray, whatever. It really looks good. I mean, you can see the door. We'll go from the door to the mirror cap even. Right here in this light. Yeah, I like that a lot. That looks really good. Yeah, hopefully that's helping you guys make a decision, because I think it looks awesome. I know Felipe's a fan, so I think we're gonna watch him do this hood next, because this is another pretty, you know, obviously flat surface here that you can clearly see the reflections on. So might be kind of cool to see this. Now he's also going to try to do this hood in one piece. So these will be separate, of course. There's no way to do those together, but the normal pattern actually has a relief cut right here, and he's going to try to do it without that. So the first thing he's going to do is wrap this with gloss PPF and then remove it, so he can hopefully get one piece of XPEL Stealth on that hood. So this is another reason why you want an experienced installer like Felipe to do this, because these are the things that even XPEL has patterns for, that show cuts right here to make these divots here easier to install. But if you have a good installer, they can modify the pattern and hide some of the additional seams that don't necessarily need to be there. So we got a little sliver of XPEL gloss or XPEL Ultimate to go on the carbon fiber piece here. And of course there is a little bit of an overlap, because just like Felipe was saying off camera, this thing is going to get absolutely destroyed with rock chips. So you definitely want to make sure, if you have a ZTK car or even the carbon fiber aero package on the ZR1, that you get this done. Even if you add this hood to a Z06 or something, get this done. Even if you don't do anything else, get this done, because that thing's going to get beat up. So here's the deflector off the car. Kind of interesting. You can see there's a little bit of a barrier there at the bottom so it doesn't scratch the hood again, like a rubber material. This is, of course, carbon all the way through. So this is sitting over here while he's working on the hood. The hood actually looks kind of bare without it now, but he's going to try to do this hood in one piece, like I said. So that piece needs to come off first. So you got the screw holes in the back that it bolts onto, but otherwise we're ready to go. So bulking the hood to try to get rid of the lines we were talking about. So the relief cuts that, you know, this is a pretty deep inset hood with the hood vent or hood scoop there. So he's going to try to bulk it and see if we can get rid of those relief cuts just for that extra little bit of professional install. So as you saw, there was just a big giant piece of XPEL, and he's going to cut everything out basically, see if he can get those lines to hold down in there. It looks like you're probably going to be able to do it.
5 minutes later.
All right, guys, so we got Alfredo working on the window tint, but Felipe did manage to get the entire hood done in one piece because right up here there would be a relief cut, and sure enough he was able to get it done in one piece. So this is again just a testament to your installer versus the product, but again we can kind of see that gloss versus the sheen more of the XPEL Stealth. So definitely a really cool look. Like I keep saying, it gives it that like iced out look, but obviously the carbon lip here is going to get installed back on here with the included screws, so the XPEL is cut around that. But again, installer matters. I mean, look at that. There should be a cut all the way from there all the way down in there, and he managed to do it without having to cut it. So that's really awesome. So at this point we still got the bumpers and the rear fenders to do, but there was one other thing I wanted to show you guys whenever this door is also done. But I had Felipe leave this particular piece on because of the poor fitment from GM. You can see that gap right there. This is actually sitting up on top of the paint. So I'm going to have him remove that on camera so we can see if, number one, if there's any damage, but number two, he's going to put this back on in a way that's adjusted so it fits into that gap like it should and isn't sitting on the paint. So again, this fender is not done because he has to remove this and tuck the XPEL in basically, but we're going to get him to do that here in a second. I know I've said this a couple times, but the way that these accent lines just pop with the Stealth wrap on there, I mean, it makes this so much more visible than it is whenever everything's gloss. So the lines and the cuts and the curves of this car are going to be super visible after this is all done. All right, so when it comes to removing this piece, this is significantly different than it is on a Z06 or an E-Ray. Felipe has already removed the one from the passenger side, but the first step is you actually have to take out the bolts on the inner fender well here, because behind here there is actually a bolt that is securing the back part of that because of all the ductwork and everything. That's part of the ductwork right there with the Jake logo on it. But yeah, so he has to get it behind here, get a bolt out, and then there's 2 or 3 behind here. How many are behind here, Felipe?
2 8mm.
2 8mm behind here.
T15.
And 1 T15 behind here.
Yeah, so the T15, you have to remove this plastic liner to get to the secondary 8mm. And then there's a T15 down here, like somewhere right around here. Okay.
And then, like I said, we're going to pop that out and put this thing back in there a little straighter than GM decided that it was okay to do. Leave it with that, but we're going to get it straighter than that. Yeah, because you can see the alignment issue right there too. Kind of sticks out. But he's removing the 8mm nut on the back now. There's 2 back there. And then we can remove this and kind of show you the back side of what it looks like and all the ductwork on the inside. Because this does, as you guys know, push in and continues air on into brake duct coolers or brake cooling ducts, and then even some of this up here is to feed some cool air to the turbos and radiators. I mean, this thing's all set up for air cooling. Oh yeah, there it is. Yep. That pushed it back down to where it should have been.
Which, look, it did leave an indent on
it did, yep, it did leave an indent there. But you can see now that that's in where it's supposed to ride.
So I think that's supposed to be under this piece. You see where it's creating pressure right here, where it won't let me tilt it because it's being pushed in.
So this duct work is supposed to be covering that radiator better. actually pushing air onto it. So little things that weren't done as like it should have been from the assembly line, it looks like, but that's what was causing this thing to be sitting the way it was. And while we're here, guys, let's take a look at that 2026 fuel door or fuel issue fix that GM had a little bit of a problem with. Obviously, there was some gas leaking down, possibly combusting, causing some problems. The fix is, of course, just plugging up that hole, and you can see right there, the hole is plugged. There's no hole at the bottom. Otherwise, it is the exact same shape, size, everything's the same. Just that hole down there at the bottom is gone. So we just removed the fuel door, and Felipe said this is new. He hasn't seen this on the Corvette before. On the back side, there is a Jake logo, and then even on the back side of the plastic for the fuel door, there's a Jake logo. Kind of little Easter eggs that nobody knows about. This might be a 26 thing, but it's definitely a ZR1 thing. And just so you guys know, we were able to get way better fitment on the side scoop here. So a couple things that behind here weren't installed exactly correctly from factory. Felipe was able to fix those, get this thing lined up a lot better than factory was. Even this part here lines up a lot better. And of course, all PPF. So all of the stealth is now wrapped inside of where the scoop kind of sits. So there's no lines or anything. And then of course the carbon fiber pieces are also wrapped with clear Ultimate, XPEL Ultimate. So really giving it all the protection it could possibly need. And these are wrapped all the way in. I can actually feel all the way in the back where the ledge is at. So these things are fully protected from rocks and everything like that, whether they're stealth or gloss, either way, completely taken care of. And we also found, oddly enough, over on the passenger side, I'll show you, inside the scoop, there is a ground wire up in there. You can see right there, and it's loose. You can kind of hear that. That ground wire right there is loose. So we're going to tighten that up for them too. But these are just kind of some of the things that come out of the factory that make you scratch your head a little bit. So getting your PPF done here, we of course we go the extra step. We make sure that the entire process, the entire situation is enjoyable. So that comes down to even making sure that the stuff from the factory is done correctly. So yeah, we should be able to get this down outside in the sun for you today. I just heard that Brooks's flight in might be delayed a little bit tomorrow, and if that's the case, I'm not going to be able to get to film with him, but I'm going to have Felipe kind of get his reaction on camera, and I'll throw it in at the end here. But yeah, stay tuned for the reveal here, guys. She's reborn, now officially a Corvette again. All right, guys, here we are with both finished products, but I know you guys really want to see that ZR1, so let's take a look at it. Like I said, the Ferrari is done, so is the C8 ZR1 now, and you can just see, oh man, this thing is making a serious argument for silver for my ZR1. That is looking phenomenal. I mean, look at the lines on that car. Just explode with the stealth. Man, does that look good. That looks so much better than gloss silver. I am not a silver car fan at all. They just blend in so badly, but this thing's gonna freaking pop. Now, if this was my car, I would, of course, I'd be lowering it. I'd be slapping on a better fitting pair of wheels. And really, that's probably about it on the exterior. I mean, this thing is already carbon fiber to the gills. There's really not much you got to add to these things. It does need lowered. It does need a better fitting set of wheels. Even though the carbon fiber wheels are really cool, that's how I would do it. But I mean, look at this back here. Those lights kind of, yeah, man, does that look good. That is just phenomenal looking. Wow. Then of course the big wing in the back is just being gigantic. Look at that. Good Lord, this thing is just, it just screams insanity. But yeah, look at all the lines, the body lines of this car just pop. And Felipe did such a freaking phenomenal job on getting that hood in one piece, this part up here getting this done, and then the carbon and gloss still without any edges or seams showing. The split window down here is matte, And Brooks did option to have that painted the same color as the car so you don't kind of lose it, doesn't disappear. Yeah, that is just wild. I love it, guys. Hopefully you do too, because I don't see how anybody seeing this in person would not be absolutely thrilled with the way that this looks. That is incredibly nice looking. It makes those lines pop. Man, I don't know. I am seriously considering blade silver for my ZR1 now. That is absolutely insanity. Look at that thing. Good God, is that gorgeous. Anyway, guys, that's it. Car's done. Brooks is going to be here tomorrow to pick it up. I'm going to have Felipe film his response and kind of send it to me last second, but that will be at the very end of this video, hopefully, if I'm able to get it. If not, I'm sure he's going to love it. Check out his video. I'm sure he's going to talk about how much he loves it in there too. But for now, guys, smash the thumbs up if you like the content. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And as always, stay obsessed.